Dear respectable audience, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Alhamdulillah, we are live once again from the Shah Walayat Foundation studios, and today I am joined by my beloved older brother Hafiz Speech Syed Muhammad Haider Tirmezi and two great members of Shah Walayat Foundation who have been with us from the very first day, Haji Asif Moghul Naqshbandi and Haji Umar Waqas Naqshbandi. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Just before we begin, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel and give this video a thumbs up if you'd like to see more content like this. Jazakallah. All praise be to Allah. We praise Him and seek His help and His forgiveness. We believe in Him and rely on Him. We seek refuge from Him. There is none to lead him astray whom Allah guides. There is no God but Allah. I also bear witness that our Master, our authority and our Prophet, Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, is the last and final messenger. May Allah bestow His mercy and blessings in abundance upon him,
Ameen.
his family
Ameen.
and his companions.
Ameen.
The month of Ramadan, in which was revealed the Quran, is a guidance for mankind.
Subhanallah.
Alhamdulillah, we are here again with the brothers, and I would like to ask you all how your Ramadan is going.
Alhamdulillah, it's going down really well.
I feel a bit thirsty right now. Yeah, I can feel it. I need a little some water, but I know I can't. But it's been
alright. I think for me it's more the tiredness. We can do the food, we're used to the food, we're used to the drinks, aren't we? But it's just it's the tiredness that gets,
routine.
Even though you just mentioned that you are really thirsty, it is actually against sunnah to even mention that.
wow.
Even if you are hungry and thirsty, carry on to remain patient and don't even mention, yes, I'm really, really hungry.
You just mentioned that, and that is giving me straight away onto the your beloved Abuji. No matter what they went through, and they just say afterwards, I feel a bit tired, headache, but they would never say it, and they would just keep on going. They would just keep on going.
True,
So literally, I would sometimes always think, doesn't they ever fall ill? They say I'm thirsty, say I'm hungry. The amount of effort they get called to mehfil around the country still to come and do dua, do khatma at people's homes, and then after Zohr the dars of the Quran. I always think, I don't know, and they walk as if they're fresh. As if there's nothing touching them.
They will never complain.
They would never would.
Exactly.
Subhanallah, they would just.
So alhamdulillah, we're doing okay.
Alhamdulillah.
Such beautiful memories of how they used to just literally just. I just just stare at them. Think, we feel like though. I want something to drink and eat, but like how you said, I never knew that. The ruling. Do not even mention that you are feeling hungry or you're feeling thirsty. Just keep on going with a smile. Subhanallah.
You forget these kind of things. It's good to obviously do reminders and this kind of stuff.
Remember, a good action in this month is multiplied from 10 times up to 700
Subhanallah.
times.
Subhanallah.
And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, with the exception of fasting, that only belongs to me. And I shall reward the fasting person on the day of Qiyamah as I wish.
Subhanallah, yes.
Yeah. So alhamdulillah, this is a month in which we should try our level best to do as many good deeds as possible. Because even the smallest of deeds is very, very highly rewarding.
Subhanallah.
And it is the month in which Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam says that the gates of paradise are open and all the doors of hell, they are closed, and all the devils are actually chained up. So in this month, nobody really has an excuse of not doing anything good.
That's true. That actually just reminds me of something when you mentioned them, Subhanallah. Like when people say, you say that the devils are all locked up this month here, but why do I still feel like, not astaghfirullah, saying, I don't want to read namaz, I can't be bothered, or people still say we're still doing this, we're still doing our lies, and you still feel that temptation, you still do bad things, unfortunately. And they ask, well, if the devils are all locked up, then so why are we still doing these bad things?
It's a good question, but you have to understand. It's a worldly example, but this is just for your understanding. Imagine when you're riding a bicycle, you keep pedaling, and then you eventually let go of pedaling. What happens? The bike carries on moving, it's rolling, it's going to keep going until you press onto the brakes. Correct?
True. Yes.
Similarly, in life, when you're doing guna upon guna upon guna upon guna, you've got yourself into that cycle. And in this month, all the devils are chained up, they're locked away. This is time for you to press the brakes. Those people that say that, oh, we don't feel like reading namaz, we don't feel like maybe fasting, we don't feel like doing the right deeds. Remember, they're not pressing onto the brakes. They've been doing something for so long that it's still in their system.
To keep doing it.
And it's become a cycle for them. They still want to go back towards their bad ways. Therefore, this is the month in which we should really, really focus and try our level best. Force ourselves, fight that shaitan, fight that nafs inside you, and try and make yourself come to the masjid and pray. Remember, when you are performing wuzu, remember Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam says that when you wash the body parts, the gunas of that body part, they wash away as well. For example, when you are washing, beginning with your hands, washing your hands, the gunas that you have committed, the minor gunas, they are washed away from the hands. When you are washing the face, anything that, all the parts on your face, for example, your eyes, your nose, your mouth, anything that you've said bad from your mouth, the minor gunas, they are washed away. With your nose, same thing. With your eyes, any guna that you've committed, by washing the face, minor gunas are washed away. By doing wuzu, remember, these things are washed away. Therefore, we should make an extra effort in this month that we perform wuzu, remain in wuzu, and try to do as many good deeds as possible.
Like
come to the masjid,
effort, conscious effort.
Come to the masjid and pick up the Quran Pak and try to recite. Remember, by reciting one harf, one letter, the ulama say, for example, alif, lam, and mim, from where the Quran Pak begins. These are just 3 letters. And they're even written separately as well. But just for saying alif, lam, and mim, you get 30 virtues. Meaning for one harf, for one letter, you are given 10 virtues, 10 nekiyan. Imagine when somebody reads Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. How many letters are just within Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim? Carry on multiplying that. And like I just said in the beginning, that minimum is multiplied by 10 times. Maximum is unlimited. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, it is entirely up to me how much I want to reward each individual. And in this month, the reward is 17 times more as well. Therefore, you can carry on multiplying. Just try to count how much reward you will gain just in this month by you reading just ordinary nafal, just reading the Quran Pak, or maybe even sitting in the masjid reading tasbih, subhanallah, subhanallah, alhamdulillah, and so on.
I think, I think one of that could be also regarding peer pressure. When the guys with the girls, I fast today, guys, yeah, I am, yes, I am. But they still, whether it's peer pressure that doesn't allow them to come to the mosque or think, let's open a Quran, said, right, I'm not going to guys today.
Yeah, but this is why it is extremely crucial. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Holy Quran that وَكُونُوا مَعَ الصَّادِقِينَ.
Yes.
Your company should be with the righteous ones. First of all, those people who say, no, because of my friends, this and that, why are you with the wrong friends?
True. Yeah.
You are in the wrong to begin with.
Yes.
Therefore, your friends should be the righteous people. And where are you going to find the righteous people? In the pub? In a nightclub? On the streets? Screeching their cars? In the park? Or in the bazaar? Where are you going to find these people? You're going to find them in the masjid. You're going to find them in the masjid. So therefore, your company should be with those people who are actually inside the masjid. But unfortunately, we're living in an era where it's actually frowned upon if you've got somebody, a friend, who is from the masjid.
For example, even when, sorry to cut you off there, but when we used to even pray in university, in college, or even high school as a student, it's just this, you can say, this mindset that whoever is seen praying, they assume that he's really religious, or they start calling him names such as Maulvi Saab, etc.
It's not a cool thing to do.
It's not a cool thing to do, and they don't realize that praying your 5 times salah does not make you religious, it makes you a Muslim.
Yes.
And this, pick this like mindset in our community today is what it damages us. For example, when you gave that beautiful example of the bicycle, riding, and if you keep pedaling and then you suddenly just stop pedaling, that bike's going to carry on rolling. For example, there was an authentic hadith where the Prophet of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said that the hearts get rusty just like iron. And the companions asked, "O Messenger of Allah, so what's his cleansing?" And then they said that reading the Quran and remembering death.
Subhanallah.
And unfortunately, when the Quran and the remembrance of death and coming to the masjid and praying is taken out the lives of people, then unfortunately they won't be acting in a good way, and their companies, which is also bad, it doesn't benefit them.
It's true. I think one way you got to look at it is, you got to look at life and death. I think from personal view, if you think about it, how do you know if you're going to have a Ramazan Sharif next year?
Yeah.
Look how fast people are passing from this world. Not just all the younger generation. So for you as a mindset,
we can just take for an example that look how many individuals are not actually with us this Ramadan.
Exactly. Yeah.
That were actually with us in last Ramadan. It's an eye opener
over the years
for
each one of us, that all those elders who were the ronak, who were the joy of our masjid.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, most of them are no more. And who have become those elders? I know we don't like to say that we are actually old.
Yeah, true.
Fortunately or unfortunately, we are those people. We are those people who have to stand in the first row. We've become unknowingly the role models for the youth.
Yeah, it's true.
If we are not going to do the correct things, then how on earth do we expect the younger generation to be on the right path?
Yeah.
This is why it's crucial for each one of us to make an effort in this month.
I was saying that this morning to myself, I was trying to find some, actually last night, practicing writing speech for Laylatul Qadr. And in there was one, I will mention that, yes, these elders were the ones who were the ronak of the mehfil, and they were the ones who stood by hand, Qibla Alam, Rahmatullah Ta'ala, like a rock.
Yeah.
And one by one, they are slowly leaving us, and they put us into that position now of being the ones who now have to lead and show and set the example. And it's scary, but it has to be done now.
It's true.
And the remembrance of death is usually seemed as, when we get older, we're going to die. But if you see in our own community now, the amount of youngsters that have left us due to car crashes, heart attacks, and other, murders in our community. Yeah. Remembering death is something we need to do all the time, because death is one thing that is promised, but we never know the time.
You automatically start to think, like you said, when we get older, we'll grow white beards and we're going to pass through it then, but you got no idea. Today could be your last day, tomorrow could be your last day.
Yeah.
I often give that example as well, that look, none of us know when death is going to come. And for me, one of the eye-openers was, I know we often say that death is just around the corner, it's coming. It could be any time. But when my father, Rahmatullah, left this world, they were talking to me, and they actually collapsed in front of me. And had it been anybody else, they would have been in the same position. They would have never, ever imagined that somebody who was just speaking literally seconds ago, all of a sudden has collapsed and even left us. This is how fast death can come. And remember, we have to be prepared. And unfortunately, most of us, we are not even prepared.
We're not, no.
If I was to put a question onto you guys today, what have you prepared for your own death? It includes myself.
Includes all of us, yes. Of course.
Most of us will be speechless. Because the truth is we haven't. And this Ramadan is prime time for every single one of us, whether we be young, old, male, female, no matter who you are. This is the time, if you've been on the wrong track, get yourself onto the right track and start preparing for your own akhirat. We have been sent here, وَمَا خَلَقْتُ الْجِنَّ وَالْإِنسَ إِلَّا لِيَعْبُدُونَ.
Subhanallah.
Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, I have not created the jinn and insan except for them to worship me.
Subhanallah.
We know that we have been created to worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and obey Him and His Rasul. So why are we running away from it? Why do we just ignore it? Why are we ignorant? Now this is the time the devils have been chained and the doors of Jahannam are closed as well, making it even easier for us. This is the prime time. This is the month in which we need to really kickstart again. And then make sure we remain on this as well. What we often see is every year you will see the masjids being absolutely full, if not overfull, overcrowded in this holy month. But what happens as soon as the Ilan of Eid is made?
Even Laylatul Qadr, once Laylatul Qadr
Yes.
is finished.
The masjids are empty. Namazis are nowhere to be seen. Unfortunately. Why?
And sometimes
Sorry to interrupt you again. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam says that if you go back to your old ways after Ramadan, then you have not gained anything except hunger and thirst.
I remember you dad saying
What is the point of you fasting? What's the point of you abstaining from all the sins? What's the point you trying to be a really good person? All you're doing is putting an act on. Because after the month of Ramadan, you just reverted. You just gone back to your old ways.
True.
You've just wasted that month. You were better off just remaining on that path. If you really want to come onto this path, you remain on this path. And if you remain on this path, only then shall you be successful.
Subhanallah, very
and
true.
a lot of people are very quick to blame, Iblis is locked up in this month, and as soon as he comes back out, we go astray. But do you know that I once read in a book that there's 3 enemies of a believer. One is Iblis, the other 2 is dunya and nafs. Dunya and nafs is always with us in the 12 months of the year.
True.
We have our own nafs. The dunya is the atmosphere and the environment that we live in.
Yeah.
So a lot of people are very quick to jump out, shaitan was locked up and now that he's out, we've gone astray again. But they don't blame their own nafs. They don't blame what they do themselves and what their own intentions are. Because people, unfortunately, still sin in the holy month of Ramadan.
It's lifestyle.
It is. It's the
literally.
lifestyle.
I was just going to say that, It's all these distractions that are coming in now. There's so much stuff going on. Do this, do that. Let's go here. Let's go eat there. Let's go watch this in the movies. There's so much stuff going on that is being there on purpose, in my opinion, just to distract us from going to your deen. We're all to blame at some point.
It's just one of the things when Qibla Alam Rahmatullah Ta'ala once said, one of the signs of a mu'min, a believer, is jiska dil mail rahe towards the mosque. When he's gone, his heart's still yearning. When shall I come back for the next salah? He can't wait to get back.
That's the mindset that we should have.
And unfortunately, we're living in an era where Imam Sahib just says Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. He doesn't even look towards the left, and half of the congregation has already jumped out of the door of the masjid because they need to go to work, or their kid is crying, or they've got an appointment, or they're too hungry. They have millions of excuses. Is that really a sign of a mu'min? Astaghfirullah. We seriously need to reflect upon ourselves in this holy month. And this is the time for all of us.
It's just the best thing that you can do. Is like it's been just so far just fantastic as I've approached the month of Ramadan, and I give myself examples. He's looking for an excuse to was actually you just say Ya Rabbal Alameen, may tawbah karna. I'm seeking your forgiveness. He's looking for an excuse just to say here, and watch how he throws his rahmat upon you, and yet we're blind to even that. Some people, they cannot see. He's looking for an excuse. Just look at me once and watch how my mercy falls upon you.
Bishak.
It's true. It should be enough that in the Quran, Allah's calling us so much for Ramzan Sharif. Come, so I can forgive you, so I can give you this much nikya. But like your father Rahmatullah used to say, that if the Bank of England announced tomorrow now in the morning that all banks are basically going to exchange your £5 notes for £20 notes. Just that one thing. All it is just a paper note. It's be gone in like one transaction. But how many lines will there be in all the banks of England just to exchange their £5 note for a £20 note? But
correct.
Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, throughout the whole of the Quran, as parts of it's mentioned that, I'm doing this, I'm going to give this much nikya, I'm going to build a separate door for you in Jannat. It's doing as much as it can, there's angels doing elan that, come to Jannat, it's ready for you. They decorate it every day throughout the month of Ramadan, which you'll go into more detail throughout the month. But even then, you might, mashallah, obviously, you'll get some people that
human weakness is that we don't actually believe something until we haven't seen it. And on the very first page of the Holy Quran, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, true believers are those allazina yu'minuna bil ghayb. The actual believers are those who believe in the unseen. And if we're not believing all of these things, then there is a serious fault within your iman. then
100%, yeah.
we should be asking, well, you should be asking yourself, am I actually a true believer?
Yeah, we
If
should
you're
ask
not,
that ourselves,
if your
yeah,
belief is
it's
not
true.
firm in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala rewarding you so abundantly, then ask yourself this question, am I actually even a believer? Because Allah says, Allazina yu'minuna bil ghayb.
It's
That
true.
those believers are those who actually believe in the unseen. And unseen is like the Jannat, the Dozakh, and all the other creations that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has created.
Our religion is based on
Yes.
the unseen.
Yes, we haven't seen Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam in our lifetimes.
Subhanallah,
Yet
exactly.
we believe they existed. None of us have seen the angels. Nobody saw Hazrat Jibreel Islam coming down physically, bringing anything.
Yeah, true.
Yet our iman is, yes, he exists.
Physics.
Same with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Nobody's physically seen him, but yet we know there is a master, and the master is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. These are the beliefs, and we know Allah will reward us or punish us according to our deeds. But if you're not believing these things, or your iman is weak in this, then those people seriously need to question themselves.
I tell you what I have heard when people say, oh, it wasn't my time yet. When it comes down, that was his time, or that was her time. That's why he or she is now suddenly becoming deendar.
Yeah.
They use that, oh, it wasn't meant to be then. It was
when
meant
you
to
get
be
older.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
for
like,
example,
when,
yeah.
How can that be an excuse?
Exactly. I mean, no one's perfect. We're all obviously.
I wasn't ready for it then.
Yeah.
My goodness, that's not even an excuse. I wasn't ready for deen. What, ready for deen?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, like I said, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has created the jinn and insan for his obedience, for his worship. That means from the very first day you got sent down here, that was your job. So how can you say, that was not my time?
Yeah, exactly.
You just contradicted right against your own belief here, against your own deen. Those people who say that, they need to reflect upon themselves and need to think again what they've said. Remember, we have been sent down. Allah has created us just for his obedience and for his worship. He is the master.
Yeah,
And we need to be doing what he has told us, his Rasul has told us.
But look at the positives in that.
And
come out
our
this
time
month.
begun from the very first day.
Yeah.
We actually came onto earth.
So I've got a question. So obviously there's going to be a lot of people that are obviously going to start fasting this month. When it comes to Sedi, because I know a lot of people will just wake up,
Yeah.
they'll have a glass of water, or sometimes they won't even wake up for whatever reason. What's the significance of Sedi? Why do we do it? Why has it been? Why have we been asked to like get up in the middle of the night, have something to eat, and then obviously after it takes time to get back to sleep? So what's your kind of opinion on that? What does Islam
That's
say? Should I
It's
say?
a brilliant question. That
Yeah, because I know because people obviously go to work. Some people don't.
School, colleges,
Yeah,
etc.
exactly.
Yeah.
So they think.
Fasting allows us and as a person to reflect upon and appreciate the blessings of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And fasting allows us, one of the things in Ramadan is we gain patience and humbleness,
subhanallah,
and we increase in our holiness and we gain piety. And fasting is Sedi is seen as a very important act in fasting, and it is narrated by Hazrat Abdullah bin Haris radiyallahu ta'ala an. He was a great Sahabi Rasul, and he says that the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam was once eating Sedi, and Hazrat Abdullah asked that, what are you doing to Huzur Pak? And Huzur Pak replied that this is a blessed meal that Allah has granted you, so you should never forsake it. And this shows the importance of just eating Sedi.
Subhanallah.
And Sedi is a blessed meal, which at Sedi time there's many blessings and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's mercy which is showering upon us. So to fulfill this sunnat in the holy month of Ramadan, surely it has a great blessing and a great reward.
Yeah, no, of course. That sounds about right.
Also remember that all the previous nations used to fast also. Some used to fast during the day, some used to fast during the night. Some used to abstain from certain foods or had like a certain diet.
Okay.
Some used to have a fast in which they were not allowed to speak or do certain actions.
Yeah.
Each nation has observed fasting, and within the Jews or the Christians, I can't remember which way around it is, remember they have fasting also but do not have suhoor in it.
Subhanallah.
They would wake up just like a normal day but abstain from eating and drinking. The uniqueness of Islam is that we actually wake up before Fajr namaz and we have a meal, to which Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam says, make sure you have some sort of meal, have suhoor. Indeed, there is blessing in it. And look at the benefits of having suhoor. Alhamdulillah, subhanallah. You wake up, by the time you finished your meal, it is time for Fajr prayer. Nobody has an excuse to actually miss Fajr namaz.
True.
Salatul Fajr. On an ordinary day, a lot of people actually miss it due to whatever reason.
Yeah.
But in Ramadan, the beauty is that you have suhoor and you can read Salatul Fajr with Jamaat inside the masjid because you're already awake. Therefore, that is one of the uniqueness of Islam, having suhoor.
It just makes you think, doesn't it?
I am finding it very difficult right now because by the time we read Tarawih Salah, get home, I have a cup of tea, I relax, and then go to bed. But in 3 hours' time, up again. But then my day starts again at 7 o'clock.
No, for those people, that are struggling, for those people that are working, let's say maybe from 8 in the morning or 9 in the morning and onwards, it is understandable. It is very difficult for them to wake up in the morning. For them people, what they can do is maybe have their suhoor just after Salatul Tarawih and then go to sleep. But at least they've had some sort of meal. What is disliked is not eating anything at all and then just waking up and saying, no, yes, I am fasting, I have a roza.
Yeah.
That is disliked. Therefore, it is sunnat of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam to at least have something, even if it be a glass of water.
Subhanallah. There you go. Yeah.
I remember the ones who were reading in after Zorsla, your beloved Abuji Rahmatullah Ta'ala, they were doing the Dars Quran, and after the Dars Quran, they asked the people any questions, and one man says, "Okay, Pir Sahab, I can't stop smoking, and I'm desperate for smoke. Does smoking break the fast?" Pir Sahab says, "Yes, it does. It's fast." And then amazingly, he says, "Oh, what about if you're asleep and you're smoking?" And everybody just looked at him, and Pir Sahab Rahmatullah Ta'ala says, "Well, that would be a miracle if you could sleep and smoke, but no, it will still break your fast if you can sleep and smoke."
Trying to find a loophole.
That was the funniest moment ever. Everybody was laughing, but it must be. It's not a question to ask. Smoking and the vapes in.
Yeah, I think because people actually do it. I think that's why obviously we must have asked the question. Yeah, because I've had few people that obviously it's a good question to ask actually, because they'll carry on doing the roza like normal, but then what they'll say is that because obviously vaping is really big now, so a lot of people are vaping. There's no tobacco in there, anything like that. The only thing that's in there is the nicotine. So they'll say, "Oh, it's okay. All I'm doing is I'm vaping. It's got no tobacco in there."
Are they vaping during their sleep as well? It's like
no, they're vaping during the day.
Okay.
Forget sleep. They're vaping obviously they'll probably do it on the hush, like in the corner or something, because most people will say, "What are you doing? Why are you vaping for?" But I've heard of few people saying, "Oh no, it's okay because there's no tobacco in there. I'm not getting the Shah. I'm just it's only nicotine that's in there. So it's so what's the ruling behind that? Like what
Listen,
would Islam say
you have to
that?
remember that anything that goes inside the body and gives it any sort of strength, whether it affects the body or whether it affects the mind, it invalidates the fast.
Yeah.
Right. So okay.
And we know very, very clearly in this case, even though I'm not a smoker, alhamdulillah, but I know that nicotine or tobacco or whatever other substances that are within that, they clearly affect the body. They decrease that craving, and I'm sure it gives them
nicotine.
It affects them mentally also. So we know it is affecting their body and it's affecting their mind. It clearly invalidates their fast. So for those people who are self-muftis and giving their own fatwas here, for them, good luck. That's all we can say. But the Islamic rule is, yes, it invalidates the fast.
What about injections then? With a lot of people have this, thing that, injection will invalidate my fast. Oh, if I take an injection, it's fine.
Mate, that's the really big fasting last year when people were saying the vaccine came out.
Yeah, the vaccine.
And they were saying, "Oh, about this or about that."
Yeah.
That's a good question as well. But just coming back to the vaping part, for those people who are vaping, smoking, for them it's just a question. It is for them to think, can't they just wait another 2 or 3 hours?
It's a matter of patience again,
And
isn't
it's
it?
iftari. Remember, the purpose of fasting is to teach you patience.
Yeah, subhanallah.
And if you're not being
True.
patient, the fasting is not actually benefiting you.
Yeah.
So you might as well not fast from the very first moment. Just carry on smoking.
Back
Go,
to the
go,
same
go do
thing
your
of the bicycle.
go do your normal activity. Why are you fasting then? And remember, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam says that fasting and the Holy Quran. This is the month of Holy Quran as well.
Subhanallah.
These two things will intercede on the day of Qiyamah.
Subhanallah.
The fasting will say that, oh Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Ya Allah, this person abstained from food and drink. Ya Allah, please forgive him.
Subhanallah.
The Quran will say, Ya Allah, this person actually stayed awake all night. He sacrificed his sleep. Ya Allah, I ask you to please forgive him and grant him your Jannah. Would you not want the
That-
fasting
Subhanallah.
and the
Exactly.
Quran
Of course.
to be your witness and to be your intercessors on the day of Qiyamah?
Yeah, of course you would, yeah.
Therefore, these people need to think very, very carefully. It's only going to take them another few hours. And after that, go eat, drink, smoke, do all the halal activities that you want to do. But during the course of the day, please remain
Just be
patient.
patient.
Because
yeah.
that
That's
is
for
this
all
is
of
the
us,
month of
yeah.
patience.
Of course.
One of the names of this month is the month of
Sabr.
patience.
Yeah.
And if you can't be patient in this month, I'm
But-
sorry to say, but we can't expect you to be patient in the remaining year as well. The rest of the 11 months, how will you be? I actually feel pretty scared
Yeah.
thinking about that.
Yeah.
And coming to your question, Karma, which one of you asked
Injections.
the
And even
vaccinations?
inhalers. Yeah.
Yeah, inhalers as
Inhalers
well.
are really big thing.
Inhalers is another thing
Yeah.
where it is
Medicinal.
debated amongst the ulama
Yeah.
that whether it breaks it or it doesn't break it. And there are two groups of ulama. Some say that it invalidates, some say it does not invalidate. But yes, coming back down to it, if you look at the really fine details, the inhaler is used actually in an emergency.
Yeah.
To save somebody's life is actually better than starving them from food.
Wait,
Yeah.
it's like saying,
So-
can you just wait for another 2 hours?
So we
Yeah.
understand from the very first minute that the only people who will be using the inhaler are actually those
Yeah.
people who are actually in state of emergency.
Yeah.
So for them people, yes, it is allowed. But remember, though, if they use it, it has actually invalidated their fast because some sort of substance has gone into
As
their
a
body
medicine,
to
yeah.
give them a bit of strength. That's medicine.
Yeah.
Coming to the injection, to vaccinations, I'm not a medical expert here, but I do know that there's two types of vaccinations. One's an intravenous and one's called an intramuscular. So these two types are, the first one is the intravenous,
Yeah.
which goes straight into the body and gives you an immediate reaction. For example,
Into the
when
bloodstream.
somebody,
Yeah.
straight into the bloodstream. When somebody's in a lot of pain, they often inject them with morphine just to relieve that pain. That has an immediate effect. Other injections like that, they have an immediate effect.
Yeah.
Then you have intramuscular that goes into the muscle. For example, the COVID vaccines or the flu vaccines, they remain inside the muscle and slowly they keep releasing.
Yeah.
Over the course of 6 months, 12 months, maybe even 2 years, 5 years, that remains inside the system.
Didn't know that.
If it is intramuscular, something that is over the course of a long period, that does not invalidate the fast.
Yeah.
But if it's intravenous, something that's going to have an immediate effect, that will invalidate because it is giving you immediate strength.
So, be the
So
same thing with
it
insulin
is
as well.
dependent upon which vaccination you are going in to take. If it's the intravenous, if it's an immediate effect, it will invalidate. If it's intramuscular, which will be effective over a long period, then it is fine. You can take that.
Subhanallah.
I think it's last time you had a question about toothpaste, wasn't it?
Earlier on, maybe.
Yeah, you were saying a
A
question
lot of
about
people
toothpaste.
will brush their teeth whilst fasting,
Mm-hmm.
but they won't use toothpaste, and some will use toothpaste. And there's a big argument that, oh no, it is invalidating your fast. Some people say no, it's perfectly fine. So if you could shine some light on that.
I can once,
First of all, you got to remember, Huzur Pak says, At-tuhuru nisful iman.
Subhanallah.
yes.
That taharat, purity, cleanliness,
Yeah.
it is half of your iman.
Subhanallah.
And keeping your mouth clean is certainly part of it. Uzur Pak, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam used to use miswak. You can call miswak the olden version or the of a toothbrush. It was used to clean the teeth and keep the mouth refreshed. Uzur Pak used to use it so much that in few narrations it's been said that they used to use it before every single namaz. Every time they used to perform wuzu, they used to do it. And on one occasion they've even said that I love this so much that I would even make it compulsory.
Yes.
Therefore, Uzur Pak used to use miswak a lot. The toothbrush is just a modern way. It's a modern thing, an upgraded version of a miswak. You've got to look at the objective. The objective of miswak is to clean the teeth and keep the mouth refreshed. The toothbrush does exactly the same thing. Where just an upgraded version, it cleans the teeth and you use the paste just to keep it refreshed or to wash it. The toothpaste acts like a soap for the teeth. It's just for cleansing.
As long as you don't swallow that.
Yes, as long as you don't swallow it. Toothpaste is not made for eating. I don't think there's many people who actually swallow it. But if they are swallowing it, then it will invalidate their fast.
Same with the mouthwash.
But if it is so rewarding out of Ramadan to keep your mouth clean,
True.
then how rewarding would it be to clean your mouth and look after your teeth within Ramadan whilst you are fasting as well. And naturally during a fast, because you are empty stomach, all the fumes come from the stomach and you end up having a bad breath. By brushing your teeth using toothpaste, it decreases that smell. And it is more rewarding for you to make your mouth smell more nice.
I've always thought that when I was working in the office as well.
Sorry to interrupt you, but the last thing you want to do is come into the masjid and open your mouth, and there's several janazas after that.
But I guess one of them things about when I was working in the office, and I've always said to the Muslim guys, imagine you're speaking to a non-Muslim now, and you kept, no, I'm not going to brush my teeth, I'm doing this, I'm not nothing, and yet you speak, and that bad breath comes out. Isn't it better to brush your teeth? And at least your intention is not to upset the other person. It can be horrid if somebody goes.
And what impression would they get of Muslims that what they're doing in the month of Ramadan?
Just like I mentioned in the beginning, Uzur Pak's hadith is at-tuhuru nisful iman. Cleanliness is half of your iman. And if you're taking that section out, and that too just in Ramadan, then shame on you. You've already wasted half of your iman. What are you left with?
Just brush your teeth.
Yes, it is really important. You look after your mouth, you look after your whole body, you look after cleanliness.
Again, one of them things when I can remember when your beloved Abuji Rahmatullah, somebody asked the same question and they said, Mujhe umeed hai that people don't eat toothpaste intentionally. Thinking, I'm brushing my teeth, but I'm like a few
slight gulp on
but coming back to this part, remember a lot of people do debate that chewing gum is valid also during fasting. Just because they can taste the toothpaste, they have the chewing gum in the mouth, that's just for taste. But remember, the difference between the toothpaste is you don't actually put it onto your tongue and take the juices inside. Whereas with the chewing gum, you actually chew it. Yes, you do. But you take the juices inside, and once it's completely died out, you just spit it out.
Which have sugars in and that kind of stuff,
Hence why
therefore, the chewing gum actually invalidates. So that does not give anybody the right to actually use chewing gum instead of brushing their teeth.
That's a good one. Mythbusters.
Mythbusters,
You get them every year, don't you? Obviously, because it's good for obviously people
I don't know why people do it. They're looking for excuses to.
Just to have a loophole in your fast.
Why?
Why would you cheat Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? At the end of the day,
Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala
is cheating yourself.
Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the most knowing, and He's seeing everything. 100%. He knows what your intentions are, what's going on in your mind and heart. So I don't understand why they're trying to cheat Him. Because if it's not today, tomorrow. If not tomorrow, on the day of Qiyamah, everything shall be exposed, and you will be punished or rewarded accordingly. Therefore, it is our duty in this month to make sure we get ourselves onto the right track. And if there are any misconceptions, these sort of people, instead of debating themselves or going on to google.com, they should actually come into the masjid and speak to the scholars. They should speak to the right people. But nowadays what happens is these people they actually, if they've got an Islamic question, they'll end up at the barbers.
Yeah.
And debate there. Yeah.
If you have something,
Google.
if you have a problem with your vehicle, you got a problem with your car, you don't go to a restaurant. You actually go to a mechanic.
Exactly.
If you got any health
True.
issues,
Good.
you don't end up in maybe a school. You actually go to the doctors. Therefore, if you got any masla, any problem, any issue, any doubts regarding deen, you shouldn't be talking to your friends.
Yeah.
You should actually be coming to the masjid and ask the Imam Sahib, ask a scholar, ask an expert of that actual field, of that
And learn
subject,
the person.
and then maybe debate with him if you're
capable.
capable. Not debate amongst yourselves or just go on google.com. Yeah, it says over there. Well, it says a lot of nonsense
We
on
do a
there.
lot of that these days on google.com. This is what obviously scholars are for, like you said. You should be approaching them direct.
Yep.
And questioning them, and they'll explain to you because that's what their job is.
Just
You know,
like
that's
a
their role.
doctor, he goes through a 4, 5, 6 years maybe worth of studying. A lawyer or a barrister will go through a gruesome period of studying. All other professions go through some sort of studying. They have to do some
process.
courses.
Yeah.
There's a process. And then they are qualified. The ulama, the scholars, the people of religion, they also go through a process, and then they are authorized, they are qualified.
Subhanallah.
They've spent years of their life studying this, and they are experts. But yet our people overlook these ulama and say, no, Google is better.
Yeah.
That's like what I hear a few times. People say, "Oh, asne bade is like our elders did it."
If Google is
Yeah.
better
And,
and you can find everything on there, then why do you actually go to the lawyer when there's a problem with maybe within your land, or maybe you got some family dispute? Why are you going to the lawyers for?
Contact Google.
Yes. When your vehicle breaks down, why don't you just contact Google? Why are you taking it to the mechanic?
Fix it yourself.
When you are ill, why are you going to the doctors? Why are you going to the hospital? Just ask Google
Just go.
and just download whatever you need.
I think some people
and
do that though.
Whichever medicine it recommends, why don't you go buy it yourself?
Just like how you
Google
have a
sometimes scares you because when
But
you're
remember, when there's a
Google-
problem, you have to go to the expert of that subject.
On that field, yeah.
I've got a question, and I think it's probably what a lot of people always ask, and some don't even know, which is fair enough. If you eat something whilst fasting, does it, and you don't realize, does it break your fast?
Well, if you've completely actually forgotten and you cannot remember, and you're in that zone and you've picked up something and you've eaten it, or you've drank water, for example, and if you've genuinely forgotten, then that's the mercy of Allah. Your fast is not invalid. But that does not mean that you remember halfway and you carry on eating. You say, "Oh no, let me finish that,
just go
chips off or
through.
something."
Walk down a
Yeah.
few more.
Or some people, they accidentally forget. Look, so they pretend to forget.
Actually, pretend to forget it,
Yeah.
Basically,
But that will invalidate your fast.
Of course.
But
yeah.
what will when your fast remains valid is when you've genuinely forgotten, and that's the mercy of Allah when it comes on you. Yeah.
especially when it comes to the last few minutes of before iftar.
Iftari. Yeah, a lot of people have done it.
yeah,
Yeah, a
and
lot of
you
people
just-
have done it.
Yeah.
When they've seen the
I
the
think
plate
we're all
and then
guilty
pick it
of
up.
eating it, just before the time of iftar, but accidentally.
Yeah.
I've done it. I'm sure you
Yeah,
guys
like
have.
you
done
just
it
completely
as well.
forget. When you're
Sometimes
at the
the
table.
mind is blank, but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, if you do that, remember this is my mercy.
Subhanallah.
But if you intentionally do it, then that is guna. That is a huge sin.
Yeah.
And such a huge sin that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam says that, look, somebody who intentionally misses or breaks or invalidates the
I
fasting,
remember.
he can carry on fasting
Lifetime.
all the rest of his life, whether it be 70 years, 80 years, 100 years, 200 years, whatever his lifetime is. He can fast all his life, not miss a single day. But he will not be able to make up the reward of missing just the one fast in the holy month of Ramadan.
Wow. Subhanallah.
Oh,
Therefore, those
That's
people
the
who
power
are
of one
actually
fast.
intentionally breaking their
Yeah.
fast or being silly like that, they need to think twice that if they were to fast all their life, they will not gain the reward of just the one fast in the holy month of Ramadan.
Wow.
Subhanallah. That is hardcore. But that's just obviously not just abstaining from food and drink. That's obviously doing your namaza and abstaining from all
A
the
lot
other
of
things as
people
well.
think, yes, I've stayed hungry and I've not had any water, any drink today, and that's it, I've fasted. remember, fasting is not just about it's not just about abstaining from hunger and thirst. It is from abstaining from all the sins. Remember, the sins committed by the hands, the sins committed by the mouth, the tongue,
True.
the sins committed by the eye, the sins committed by the ears, the sins committed by the feet. There's different ways of committing sin, unfortunately.
True.
For example, somebody who is fasting, he's not eaten or drunk all day, but yet sits there backbiting, he's talking bad about people. That fast is not actually benefiting him.
Of course, yeah.
Because he has to abstain from, well, even on a normal day, he has to abstain from foul language. He has to abstain from backbiting. But if he's doing that during his fast, it's not helping him. Or, for example, somebody who is fasting, but yet with his eyes, he's just sat there maybe looking at something indecent. He's looking at something inappropriate. Remember, we're living in a day and age where the eyes wander, unfortunately. If his eyes are wandering and they're looking at things that he shouldn't be looking at, there's no point of him fasting. If this person, if he's not doing anything but yet is sitting in a company of bad friends and all they're doing is talking really bad, he's committing guna from his ears. If he's walking towards those friends or to that sort of gathering, he's committed guna with his feet as well. And Huzur Pak says, fasting is not just about hunger and thirst. It's about abstaining from all of these gunas.
Subhanallah.
True.
You have to even abstain from foul thoughts. Often we sit down and we think negatively.
Yeah.
I hope this happens, that happens, I can do this, I can do that. Don't even think negatively. Abstain from that sort of thought as well. That's the whole purpose of Ramadan. That's the whole purpose of fast. It's supposed to make you a better person. It's supposed to make you stronger. And if you are failing to do all of these things, then I'm sorry to say, but Ramadan is not benefiting you at all. You have not gained anything, Huzur Pak says. You have not gained anything except hunger and thirst. You're not benefited. Therefore, we should, in this holy month, do dua as well, that may Allah give us the tawfiq, may He give us the opportunity to fast according to the sunnah of the Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And may He make us a better Muslim, and may He be pleased with us, and may He grant us His mercy, and then finally enter us in His Jannah.
Subhanallah. Ameen.
That's a good point. But a lot of people obviously just go on, and it's obviously a lot of spiritual side to it, obviously, but a lot of people nowadays, I just wanted to briefly just mention it because I think it's really interesting, because you got the spiritual side of it. Obviously, it's going to make you a better person. It's going to make you, if you're not reading 5 namaz, it's going to obviously encourage you to, get that habit of reading 5 namaz. But obviously, a lot of people now there's the body side of it as well. How good it is for your body fasting now, because obviously now you got the rise
on YouTube, like you said.
Intermittent fasting. How big is it now? Before we used to get frowned upon because we were fasting. How you're fasting is bad for you, this and everything, But yet now the whole world has got onto this intermittent fasting, because now all of a sudden the scientists say that is good for your body.
Health specialists say,
but yet we've been doing it for 1400 years. So I think another kind of the one thing I wanted to get across was like a motivation. It shouldn't be your pure motivation, but your biggest motivation should be spiritually. But on top of that, you've got the side of it, that how good of it, the health benefits, how much of a detox it is for your body. So I've got a 2-part question. It happens every year. Gets asked quite a lot, especially at home. So the first one, if you can answer the first one, and then the second one, if you could please. The first one gets asked quite a lot, and it happens to everyone, even including myself. Is, let's say you've put your alarm on for Sedi to wake up, have something to eat. Let's say it's 4 o'clock, and you've slept in. It's got to 5 o'clock. Let's just say even 6 o'clock. An hour late after Sedi. Sedi's closed. You're woken up. What's the ruling on that? Can you quickly eat, or is it is the time over? Or because I know that question gets asked quite a bit. That's the first question for you, and then for you, the part B to the question is obviously then at Sedi time you've got all the women that are basically cooking. Obviously, if you've got a household, let's say of 6-7 people, even 4 or 5 people, there's a lot of cooking to do. And by the time they finish their cooking, it's time for them to eat, there might only be 2-3 minutes left.
Yeah.
What's the rule? What does Islam say about that? Does the, because obviously that happens quite a bit. It happens in my home anyway.
Okay, I'll let him answer the first part, and then
Yeah, I just wanted to get these two
and then
questions
let
because
them
it
answer the
gets asked
second
quite a
part,
bit. This
inshallah.
does.
If a person's completely missed the seri and an hour or 2 hours have passed by,
Yeah.
well, then that's tough luck, in other words. Because he, that's it, you can't do seri after that. Once the Fajr time's passed, for some reason. However, if you put your alarm on and you end up waking late and there's only about 5 minutes left until the Sahri ends and Fajr time begins, then you've got the chance to quickly eat whatever you can.
Okay.
But that does not mean in them few minutes. That does not mean you sit there for about half an hour, and you just stand munching until sun rises.
Yeah.
Yeah, because some people, find an excuse and they'll get a loophole.
Yeah.
But if you completely slept through it, an hour and 2 hours pass by, so that's tough luck. Then you fast have to carry on. You can't do seri. But if you've woken up just 2-3 minutes before, in that time limit, eat whatever you can, and that's it.
And if for whatever reason them few minutes go past further, then say I assume that's okay because, or does it have to be spot on like at Sahri time? Let's say it's 5:55, let's just say, and you carry on eating until 6 o'clock. Is that still okay because you woke up late?
I think that question of yours, I think you directed it towards me, and I would like to answer that part as well. When you said the women that be cooking at home, and what normally happens is, I understand that they be cooking, all the rest of the family eats. By the time their turn comes for eating, it is already Azan time for Salatul Fajr, or the Sahri time has ended.
Oh, there's a few minutes
First
left.
of all, for those women, they first of all need to discipline themselves, organize properly, and try to start cooking well before, rather than panicking on the last minute. When it happens accidentally, the Azan, you can hear it ongoing. They have not still eaten. They do have like a little time frame, a little window in which they can eat. They can eat as fast as they can, just for them maybe 5-7 minutes.
Okay.
But that does not give them the right to sit down and carry on eating. Everybody's ready for Fajr namaz, comes back, and they're still eating. Not like that. Within 5 minutes, 5 to 7 minutes, that's all they've got. Eat as quickly as you can. It is valid. But if the time has completely passed by, then the answer is tough luck.
Okay.
They're not allowed to eat. And if they do eat, they are violating the conditions of fasting. And if they're going to do that, it will invalidate the fast.
Okay.
But sincere advice to them is, please start before. A lot of our women, they do start a bit late, or maybe due to old age, they're a bit slow.
Any reason,
But if that does happen and they do overrun, yes, they do have a little time frame. Remember, it's not mandatory. As soon as you hear Allahu Akbar Azan, you all of a sudden stop everything and sit back.
Okay.
Whatever is in your hand, whether it's a cup of water, whether it's a date, or whether it's a roti that you are eating, you are allowed to finish it, but quickly, just speed up. That's all. And same thing would apply for the women. If they haven't eaten just because they've been cooking, just eat quickly. By the time the Azan has finished, or maybe just a minute or two after that, it is fine. But if you're going to be still eating 10 minutes, 15, 20 minutes later maybe, that is completely wrong.
I suppose it all depends on the men too. Have some patience towards the women of the home. Have that courteousness that my wife or my sister.
You've got to remember, this is the reason why reading with Jamaat is not compulsory for the women in particular, because they have duties at home. They have to look after the children. They have to maybe put them to sleep. They've got to feed them. They'd be doing all the cooking, all the washing, all the cleaning. They're already at home. They should organize themselves in such a way that everybody in the family can actually eat on time. But like I said, in a worse scenario, in an emergency, if they have overrun time, then they have got a few minutes to quickly eat as much as they can and wrap up.
That's perfect. That answers my questions. Thank you very
And
much.
that same applies with if any men are eating as well, and they can hear the Azan of Salatul Fajr, and they say, no, you have to stop. No, you don't have to stop. Quickly finish off what you are eating after that stop.
Okay.
Don't eat anything after that then. But whatever is in front of you or within your hands or in your mouth maybe, finish it off,
Complete, yeah.
complete it.
So if another 2 rotia came along,
No.
you're not allowed to finish that, no?
Well, Allah is the most knowing. It depends how much you have eaten
There's
before
a
that.
dessert there, you're looking at it.
You have to wait till iftar, you know.
That's true. Back in the
Actually,
fridge.
Well,
no.
if you be more organized,
Yeah.
then inshallah we can eat on time and drink on time as well.
Didn't get that
And
spot
then pray on
yeah,
time as well.
exactly, of course.
It all depends on how organized you are.
Mm.
If you are unorganized, the chances are you are gonna run over into Fajr time. And if you are organized, then I don't see any issues. May Allah make it easy for all of us in this holy
Inshallah.
month.
Ameen.
On that note, I just want to thank everyone, for joining us up today and taking out your precious time in this blessed month.
Thank you.
And
It's been a pleasure.
if you've enjoyed this video, I would request you to give this video a thumbs up, share it with your friends and family, and make sure you subscribe to our channel. Jazakumullah khair, and stay tuned for more videos. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah.